Hey, this is SZLACHETKA. I'm about to tell you the story behind the song for Old Soul. So Old Soul began the very first time I went to the American Legion Hall in East Nashville. They do a regular music night every Tuesday night called Honky Tonk Tuesdays. And it's this amazing scene. It's like a confluence of culture. You got people of all different ages, shapes, sizes, religions, ethnicities. You've got honky tonkers hanging out with hipsters, and everybody comes together for just an amazing night of music. And I found myself there shortly after I moved to Nashville, still kind of feeling like an outsider, and I was just completely taken by the acceptance and the warm vibe of the room. Everybody was in perfect harmony, dancing and just hanging out, listening to some great music. And this phrase, "there's a place for you here," kept popping through my head. So I immediately cataloged it, and then a bunch of the other lyrics from the song hit me that night as well. You know, I think at some point in all of our lives, we felt that we've been trying to find a place of acceptance and a place where we can call home and feel 100% in our skin. And I know I certainly have. And that night I felt like I had arrived. I felt like I had found my tribe. I felt like I'd found my home. And it's just an amazing sentiment to be able to have. And I wanted to document that. So once that idea hit me, I took it home and mulled it over for a little bit. And I really felt that this song would resonate really well with my buddy Mondo Signs, who's a really good friend and frequent collaborator. We've written a ton of songs together, and I took it to him, and he just really latched on to the idea of, young heart, old soul, there's a place for you here, and just a lot of the imagery that I kind of cataloged from hanging out at the Legion that night. And we wrote it, and a couple hours later we had the song, and we were both pretty jazzed. So one of the ways that I really wanted to drive home the sentiment of "there's a place for you here" was by creating the feel of a lullaby. And to do that, I really felt that the song had to be a finger picker. And Mississippi John Hurt has been a huge influence on me my whole life. He was one of the early players that really kind of opened up the door for a more wide variety of finger picking ideas. And this all comes out of a style called Travis picking. And it's a pianistic style of playing guitar where you have a bass line, an interior chord, and then a melody stacked on top of it. And so from that, I found this melody within a G major chord. And when I took that to Mondo, we both felt that that was a real focal point of the song, and that the melody needed to be based exactly on that melody. And so that's pretty much how we got the vocals and the lyrics and the phrasing for the song. So this is the actual guitar I used to record the song. This is my Martin OM28V, and I got it sometime between 2002 and 2003 when I was still living in San Diego, California. It's a pre-war era reissue guitar, and it's got a slightly wider neck and a soft V profile in the back, and it's just so comfortable to play. and it's logged a ton of miles and been on pretty much every album I've ever recorded. And this is special for me because this song was actually the last song I ever played in my 30s, and we recorded it July 1st of 2019. And we were at Blackbird Studio A doing all the basic tracking, and for some reason that day I just was really set on recording 4 songs, and we had 3, and sometime between 10:30 and 11 o'clock at night, we'd already logged somewhere between 12 and 14 hours that day, and I was pretty tired, but I had a little extra gas in the tank, and I just figured I wanted to give it a shot, and if I didn't nail it, there was always tomorrow. And so I went in and I did 2 takes. The first take had a click track going with it. It was okay, but I wasn't really feeling it, and as soon as I finished that, I immediately told everybody in the control room to roll the tape again, and did it without a click, and that ended up being the keeper. And for me, Old Soul is probably the most important song on this album, and this was just so fitting that this was the song that ended a very important decade for me, and was also the song that was the beginning song of a new decade. And I think we've all throughout our life been searching for a place we can call home, a place where we can feel comfortable in our skin, and I know I certainly have. And particularly when I recorded that song and finished this album, I really felt that it was a great way to drive home the sentiment of there's a place for you here. So thanks so much for listening and watching. I hope you guys can check out the song if you haven't already, and see you sometime soon.